Hi everyone! Today I want to share with you my top 5 things that help me feel comfortable during my working hours. And just a quick disclaimer, I'm not a doctor and this is not a medical advice. These are the things that help me personally, and if somebody else finds them helpful as well, I'll be happy. So I have a desk job. I work in accounting, which means I spend at least 8 hours at my computer every day. And also I have ankylosing spondylitis, which means my back hurts a lot. And not just my back, but also my neck, my shoulders, my hip joints, sometimes my knee, sometimes my wrist. So over the years, I found 5 things that help me feel more comfortable. And let's start with sin number 1. This is a standing desk. And the goal with standing desk to still avoid standing for prolonged periods of time, because this will put additional strain on your back. But also, if you sit for long stretches of time, this also compresses your back, that makes your hips more stiff, and you get more joint pain. Well, at least this is the case for me. So what I do, I aim to switch from standing to sitting, from sitting to standing about every 30 to 45 minutes. Sometimes I do sit for longer periods of time and then just stand for at least like 5-10 minutes, depending how I feel that day. But the goal is to keep changing positions, not to stay seated all day long, pretty much. So you don't have to invest a lot of money. There are a lot of used options online, on Marketplace, any local website that you have in your area. So I got this, I think, for like $40 a few years ago, and it's been serving me very well ever since. And it is very easy to use. So after I sit for about 30-45 minutes, all I do is just stand up and lift my desk up as well. And the goal is to keep the monitor at about eye level, and the elbow should be at about 90 degrees to avoid additional strain on your neck and on your shoulders. And yeah, then I just work standing. And another quick tip, try to keep your hips neutral. Avoid leaning on one side or another side, because it puts also additional strain on the hip joints, and they are already affected by ankylosing spondylitis, so I try to keep them safe. But at the same time, you can do some gentle movements, just to keep moving, to keep the blood flowing. And sometimes I also like to put one of my feet up on my chair and just feel a gentle stretch in my thigh, like this. And then I would switch my leg and I'll do this all while I'm still working and go around my day. So yeah, I would stand like this, depending on how I feel, for anywhere from 10 minutes to half an hour. And then when I feel like I have already too much tiredness, too much pressure in my legs or in my lower back, I would just put my desk back down and I would go back to working from a sitting position. Thing number 2 that my back really, really loves is just a simple massaging chair. And again, I got it very cheap a long time ago, and it was collecting dust in a closet for a while. But now that I started getting more stiffness and more pain in my back, I took it out, and it makes a big difference. It doesn't replace an actual massage therapy, of course, but what I do like about it is that I can use heat, and I find it helpful for when my back is too stiff in the morning or when I get some aches and pains. So I use the heat when I do the massage, and sometimes I massage my upper back, sometimes I massage my lower back, but I find that it's not really about the massage itself, but the application of the heat. And also there is a vibration option here as well, which I also like to use, and I find it kind of relaxes my muscles and make them less stiff, which also helps me to get comfortably, well, as much as comfortable as I can through my working hours. Sin number 3 is my water bottle. Now my water bottle is honestly like my best friend. I take it everywhere with me. If I go outside, if I go shopping, if I go to the playground with my kid, I always take a water bottle with me. I make sure it's filled with nice, fresh, cold water. And yeah, hydration is one of the best things you can do to your body, regardless whether you have any diagnosis, whether you have autoimmune disease, you have ankylosing spondylitis, you have diabetes, you don't have anything, you're lucky to be as healthy as it gets. Still, your body would love you for hydrating it regularly. And you know, when we get caught up in our daily life, when we work on something, we are too busy to even think about it. We don't want to go all the way to the kitchen and waste some precious minutes of your workday. Make sure you have a water bottle right beside you and just take sips. As you go through your day, just make sure to take little sips, big sips, and I do go through at least 2 bottles, well, 3 bottles depending on the level of activity each day. And I also keep it beside my bed when I sleep at night, and I make sure I stay hydrated, and that makes a difference as well. And yeah, just keep it beside you, make sure it's refilled, and make sure you remember to get some sips through the day. Sin number 4 on my personal list is a ball chair. This is what it looks like. Just a simple frame with a ball inside it, a little bit of a back support, which I don't really use. And again, just like with a standing desk, you don't have to break the bank to get it. I got mine from Facebook Marketplace for like I think $30 or $40, and it's in a good condition, and I'm really happy with it. And I used to be skeptical about it because I thought, okay, a chair is a chair, it still compresses my back, like what's the difference, right? But the difference is that when you sit on the ball, you kind of less immobile than when you sit on an actual chair. Your body makes those tiny moves, little adjustments as you sit on it, and it keeps your body from getting very still for long periods of time, and it helps with stiffness, and it helps with back pain. At least that's what I find for myself. And another thing, because it's kind of squishy, bouncy, I feel like there is less pressure, especially on my lower back and my hips, when I sit on a ball chair as opposed to an actual chair. So what I do, I tend to alternate between the two during the day. When I feel like I want some massage, some heat on my back, I would sit in a regular chair and turn the massager on. And then when I feel like I had enough and I just want some squishy, soft, bottom, I switch to the ball chair and I sit on that. Now my ball chair has a little bit of a back support, which I barely use, but if needed, I can lean backwards a little bit to have some rest. But usually I try to sit straight and just do my job. And then again, once I feel like my body getting too stiff and I do feel like I want again some heat and some gentle pressure on my back, I would switch back to the regular chair with the massager. And then in between, I would also stand up, work for a bit standing up, do some gentle movements, and then I'm gonna go back to sitting down. And moving throughout my work hours really helps with all the aches and pains and all the stiffness that I get throughout the day. And the last but not the least thing that I use to make it easier to survive my working hours with ankylosing spondylitis, I use a timer, just a basic application on my phone that reminds me that I need to move, that I need to change position, that I need to stand up or maybe change my chair. So usually I aim to get a reminder about every 20 minutes or so, depending on my schedule, because sometimes I'm in a meeting for like an hour, then I'll stay in the same pretty much position for this hour. But normally I put a timer to remind me every 20 minutes that I need to do something with my body. Because, you know, when you work, you have tight deadlines, you have urgent projects, you have all those, I don't know, spreadsheets that you need to fill out, whatever you do at your desk. It's very easy to get so engrossed in your task that you completely forget to move and you end up sitting in the same position. And sometimes it can be like some lopsided position. I find that I do it a lot. Like I'll sit like this and then I'll sit like that. And then I end up having a lot of pain in my neck, for example, right? Or then I like to hunch and I do it like this. And then, you know, I have lots of stiffness and pain in my shoulders. Or again, if you sit too straight for too long, it also puts unnecessary pressure on your back. So the key is to move, to change position, and every 20 minutes or so I find usually is enough. So what I do every 20 minutes, I get this reminder and I do something. You don't have to go crazy, do, you know, push-ups, squats, I don't know, burpees, headstands, nothing like that. All you need to do really is just change the position. Like if you're sitting like this, okay, change it to another side, for example, right? If you catch yourself hunching down, straighten up. And then also what you can do, you can just look up for a few seconds, then look down for a few seconds, look to one side, look to another side, maybe do some gentle twist with your upper body to the right, to the left. Maybe, you know, you can lean forward, maybe you can roll your shoulders backwards and, you know, forward. Maybe close your eyes for a few seconds, let them rest for a little bit. And yeah, sometimes I like to stretch my hips as well because they tend to be very tight. That's where I have the inflammation going. So yeah, I like to stretch them. I do a little figure 4, then I would just stretch the outside part of my hip by pulling the knee closer towards my body. I'm gonna do the same thing on my other leg. And you don't have to do all of this every single time because you still need to work, right? You can just unfortunately spend your whole day stretching, but just do, you know, do your neck during first reminders and do your shoulders and do your upper body. Next time you can do your legs or just whatever feels more tired. Wherever you feel more pain, more stiffness, just work on that body part. And the key is just to keep moving, do not stand still. You know, don't stay in the same position for hours on end or you're gonna end up paying for it later, which happened to me more than once. And that's when I found that I can't really rely on my own memory to remember that I need to move and change position. And I started using the simplest app that you can find on your phone that will just automatically keep reminding you about movement. And another thing, yeah, if you're doing something and you're like too busy, it's very easy to automatically just snooze the button and, you know, forget about it and don't do anything. That's why I like to put my phone a little bit aside where I can just simply reach it and snooze. So instead I have to stand up and get the phone, and even if I do end up snoozing it, at least, you know, I stood up and I did change the position, so it still worked. But ideally, yes, just try to spend at least like 10 seconds just, you know, moving. And yeah, your body is your friend, so just treat it nicely and find those few seconds every now and then to make it happy. And I do hope you found this helpful. And if you have any other tips or tricks that you use to survive your desk job or any job really, feel free to share them in comments below. Thank you for watching. See you soon.